All right, we're here. This is our first ever interview. We're here with Big Play Dave from the Big Play Reflog Show. You can check out his pod Monday nights. It's live at 9 p.m. Dave, how you doing?
I'm good, Drew. How you doing, man? Long time.
I'm doing real well. And I think the starting point for what we're talking about tonight has to start with your show. You just got off the call with Michael Simon, Iron Chef. How awesome was it getting to interview him?
That dude is phenomenal. Like when you think of Cleveland, Ohio, you think of like Bernie, even Baker now, Joe Thomas. Chef Simon's like, he's probably like top 5 on the list.
Yeah, we were talking before the show and we're like, besides like maybe some artists like Kid Cudi, Machine Gun Kelly, like Drew Carey, like that's like the top of Cleveland right there.
Right, Drew Carey was like carrying the torch for like a couple of decades there when the Browns sucked. We're like, well, Drew Carey, he's got a sweet pool table in his backyard.
Yeah, that's about it. So it's kind of like sticking with your show for a little first.
Yeah.
Who else, like going back on it, who do you remember the most? Who was your favorite guest you've had on?
Oh man. Chris Myers is like, so he's like done every single large sporting event. The anchor, and he talked to us about like interviewing OJ like right after the murder one time, and like that was a phenomenal interview. Joe Thomas, I love having Joe Thomas on. He's one of the most charismatic guys in Cleveland.
Yeah, Joe always just seems like one of those nicest guy ever's, where it's just not
he's
even
one of us. Yeah.
He's just like the guy next door that you would just have a beer with. He's just so friendly. Like I can't get enough of him every time I listen to an interview.
Yes, I think it's probably the only interview where like we're probably both drinking light beers.
Yeah, and just kind of staying with the show a little more. How'd you guys really get started? How'd you get connected with Reflog McNeil, as a lot of people know?
Yeah, just the internet, man. Like Twitter's a phenomenal thing. Like we had Jim Everett, like one of the Rams quarterbacks, on one time in the show, and he's like, how cool is the internet? Like a dude from Cleveland, Ohio, like found me on the internet, and we're doing a podcast together. And I was like, so that's like how the whole thing kind of started. Met Chris on the internet, and kind of we're like, hey, let's do a post-game show together. A lot of drunken Browns fans calling in. That was a great time. Hilarious. And just kind of evolved from there, and a lot of Googling, whole lot of Googling.
So reason we had you on, you're one of the biggest Browns fans, kind of like a head of Browns Twitter, one of the top guys.
I thought you were putting me in like Pumpkinhead status. I'm not a super fan there, Drew.
Pumpkin.
But before, actually, I gotta talk to you about this. What's your big beef with Pumpkinhead?
I have no beef with, I've never met the dude. I just think it's super weird that a guy wearing a pumpkin is like our representative. Like, why is that a thing? That shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, it is. It's just weird.
It's weird. Yeah. Nothing against the dude. Never met him.
All right. So, gotta talk to you about the draft, though. Overall, did you get to Cleveland, check out the draft at all?
So we sent Nick to Saucy Brew Works. He interviewed Denzel. They did like a big event for his charity and a beer they made about him. I actually didn't make it down. I had a bunch of people over, just kind of a draft party in Cleveland on the west side. Just so it's kind of taking in all the pictures, and it was phenomenal. We were just talking about like the Terminal Tower. That was really cool to see all of those pics. But yeah, man, I think after this, I think people are going to look at this at the NFL and be like, all right, Cleveland deserves a non-COVID draft, because that would be like Nashville, like the streets, the 1.3 million Cavs parade fans out there. It would be exactly like that.
Yeah. Go on, talk about the draft. How do you feel about the draft overall? Like rate it, like give the grade, the Mel Kiper grade. I think everyone pretty much liked it. But
did he give us a B-?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know if you.
That guy.
if you saw like someone put together like every like NFL.com person's like grade, and we got like straight A's across the board, and you got Mel Kiper just being a complete idiot, really giving us a B minus. Like, he gave like the Steelers a higher grade, and they drafted a tight end and a running back the first 2 rounds.
That's rough.
Oh my God, how out of touch is Mel Kiper? Like, why? Like, Jesus, man, that's crazy.
But I mean, I love Newsome. So going into the draft, I was like, all right, I would love for us to trade up because we've got 9 picks. I don't want us to use all these 9 picks. I would like to trade up for a cornerback, but I don't think anyone thought Newsome was going to fall to us at 26. So Andrew Berry obviously knows something that I don't. Go figure. Newsome, man, that guy is going to be a perfect starter within our team, where that was the position. I know people talk linebacker. I know people talk edge. We needed the most depth with the cornerback position with Denzel. You know, there's a lot of health concerns. Greedy, Troy Hill, I think is going to be good, but we need that kind of bona fide starter outside next to Denzel. And I think we got him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And you were talking about guys just falling down the board. That kind of felt like the story of the whole night. What's your thoughts with that JOK pick, moving up just a tiny bit to draft him?
Yeah, so it was kind of like not as much so with Greedy, but everyone's like, Greedy's a first rounder. We got him in the second round. That was great. Haven't seen how that's played out yet, but JOK, no one thought he would be around then. And I know people are saying, oh, he slid because he's got, a heart condition. I don't know. He played a lot of college ball. He seems to be fine. Andrew Berry's not taking the dude. If there's something wrong with him, he's going to be the perfect fit for that linebacking core because they need help. And I think he's going to be kind of the guy who fits our scheme, where he can kind of fly all over the field. He can cover. He almost is like a safety as opposed to a linebacker. I think he's going to be a phenomenal fit for the Browns.
For sure. Like, he's definitely a modern linebacker that we need. Like, the guy that can fly from the sideline, and he's just like, we needed that athleticism so bad, especially in the Ravens and Chiefs games. Like Chad Henne, come on, scrambling 14 yards.
No!
God.
Flashbacks.
Yeah. I remember I was listening to the draft. They were comparing him to Levante David. And I was like, if we get half of that out of it, I think we'll be more than happy.
Heck yeah, man. I thought that was such a good pick. And now we have, we took 2 linebackers. We have competition in that linebacking room. No one's safe there. It's going to drive up all of their skills. I think we've got some decent pieces there, but now we've got some depth and probably can put together a starting linebacking crew.
Yeah. Who do you think right now is probably the 1A in this linebacker room?
I actually think it's Jacob Phillips. I think he is going to take a huge step this year. We saw him kind of break out a little bit in the Steelers game, that huge tackle for a loss, adrenaline rushing. I think he's going to have a really big year. It's not really based on all that much, just what we saw last year from him, but I don't know. I just have a feeling he's going to be really, really good for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so talking Browns season.
Yeah.
I know it feels kind of like a jinx to say, I think this is a playoff team, a Super Bowl contender.
Dude, Drew, I do that like every year. It's so sad. Like, we could be the worst team ever. I was like, I think we have a chance, especially like after the draft. I'm like, we have so much hope. Like, oh God, what's our worst draft pick ever? What do you think is the worst draft pick for the Browns ever?
Justin Gilbert, Brandon Weeden, Johnny Manziel, I don't know, anything from 2010 to like 2017.
It's got to be Gilbert, yeah. But I would like, you draft those guys, you're like, okay, I think we have a chance. Like, now it's real. It's a super weird feeling, but I go into every season, I'm ready to be hurt again. But like, legitimately, this is a Super Bowl roster. It's on paper. We haven't seen the defense, but there's no reason this team can't compete with the best of the best in the NFL.
Yeah. So you're more like Matt, where you guys are actually like optimistic with Cleveland teams.
Yeah.
I can't do that with myself.
Well, Drew, so you're younger than me. So have you ever seen like a good Browns team?
Last year, that was it.
Right.
You're probably not that much younger than me. You're maybe like 2 years younger than me. I'm 24. Like, so
Okay. Yeah, you're both super young. You've never seen any good football. Maybe like Derek Anderson, but that wasn't like
yep.
that. I mean, it was fun.
I remember being in a Mexican restaurant with my dad watching the Titans steal the last playoff spot when we went 10-6. I was like, how'd that even happen?
That was the worst.
God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I can do it a
there's
little
some
bit
bad
more with Cavs and Indians to like convince myself that we're going to be good. I'm just the most pessimistic Browns fan. Where I'm like right now, even like there's not a weakness really on this team anymore. Maybe the defense because we haven't seen it. But I'm still kind of like, maybe 8 sounds fine or whatever, 9-8, 8-9.
It's a smart move, Drew. Like set the expectations like, all right, we're a 500 club. And then we start winning a few, and then you get on board.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him. Just like set your expectations to the playoffs. Then when we get there, just let it happen. Whatever happens, and just go from there. Because the bar is low here in Cleveland in terms of the Browns, but you have expectations to go higher. But I mean, for Drew, he's probably got to set them to the floor at this point just for his sanity.
Yeah, I mean, like after like 2 games in the Indian season, I've had to have Mac like talk me off a cliff. So kind of just keeping it in Cleveland.
Were you that caller on Drennan Live?
Oh no, I wasn't that bad. I promise, I wasn't that bad.
Were you? Come on, be honest.
Maybe that might be my like pseudonym, but I was thinking it, but I didn't say it. I'm like, man, Frandl strikes out every at bat, and I was like, you're kind of not wrong.
Yeah, you were the guy that called him like Fran Mill, like what's the thing with that I'm trying to think, like what's the thing that like spins like this and it's like windmill Reyes,
pinwheel, like pinwheel,
everything. Like you
Reyes, wow.
Yeah, no, I've started to come around because I've always been like, you're a Browns fan, number one, Dave. Yep. I'm Indians first. I've always been that
okay
way. So I got to talk to you and ask you a little about them.
So I would go Browns, Indians, and then kind of like a fairly farther distant Cavs, and I guess that's it.
Yeah, I'm Blue Jackets. I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I cheered for them really hard in that playoff run.
I would love for us to have a hockey team here. Like I would probably trade the Cavs for a hockey team.
I was a basketball player growing up. I mean, it's hard to tell. I'm a skinny or was not really skinny as much anymore. I was a scrawny white kid who was under 6 foot, couldn't jump, could only shoot threes. So maybe that was the only reason I liked basketball. But I got this Indians team, a lot of negativity surrounding it all year.
Yep.
Even if you like just look at their social media page, just every comment is negative, just trash talking them.
Yeah.
But they've been pretty solid, and in games they've lost, they've been right there. For me personally, I think the bullpen's been the main factor. Brian Shaw, what's your thoughts on Brian Shaw? I just got to ask.
Oh, I want to hear this one.
I hated Brian Shaw when he was here, even though he wasn't that bad. I hated him. Everyone in Cleveland hated him. He looks like he plays old man softball with me, like in a beer league. Like he just doesn't. You don't have a lot of confidence him going up there. He looks kind of sloppy, but he's doing really well. He's kind of solidifying this bullpen this year. So I'm coming around. I took a step back when we brought him back, and I was like, I'm going to go all positive Brian Shaw. It's working out so far.
Yeah, and I was not. I hand up when he came back. I think I sent off 10 tweets complaining about how much I hate the guy still.
Yeah,
and
I was with you, man.
And I think
just flip the switch.
I think the biggest thing for me was that stupid run he does onto the field. He just like, since he's so out of shape, he just like flails his arms, and I'm like, this guy's coming in to blow the game for sure.
You never liked that? Like he never, like him skipping over the line for good luck? You know.
Absolutely. Maybe it's because I hated him. Every time I saw him do that, I would get frustrated. I'm like, oh my, what are we doing here?
He's gonna blow it. Like way back in the day, way before you guys, like Eric Plunk. Like he was actually like a pretty decent pitcher. I hated the guy. You're just like, this guy's coming out here with his glasses. He's going to blow the game. We're going to lose. He's like the Brian Shaw before Brian Shaw got here the first time.
Yeah. All right. It's more with this this Indians team. Did you? What was your thoughts when we traded Lindor? I never hated it as much. I didn't like that we couldn't pay him, but the trade itself, I didn't think was that bad, and I don't think he was worth the money he got in New York.
So you probably know more than me about the trade because, like, I didn't know any of those guys we got.
Oh,
like,
no, me neither. Gonna be honest.
So, but they're probably better than he is right now.
Yeah, they both are.
Right? Yeah. So I guess we won the trade. I don't know. It was, people always bitch at Dolan, and rightfully so for a lot of it. There's just, I think Trevor Bauer like went on a tirade one time and like kind of explained the Moneyball type system that Cleveland has to work with under their financial system. No, it was Jay Crawford. By the way, you asked about awesome interviews. Jay Crawford's one of the best. He kind of explained like, you have to do that. There's no way to keep really good players, which is so sad for a Cleveland baseball owner where he can't keep any really good talent. But, Nettie, the whole crew has done such a phenomenal job with it over the years. Like if we didn't have that front office, Dolan would have had to sell this team a long time ago. So this front office is incredible when it comes to trades just like this. You get rid of a big, Cliff Lee, you get rid of a big name and you get something for it and they turn out to be something.
This club has always been able to reinvent itself, like through trades, even though it hurts in the moment, long term that it's going to give you those good effects eventually. Like Josh Wolf might not be here now, but in 5 years, probably going to be a stud. Who knows?
Yeah. And that's like the hard thing to accept, like as a fan, is you have a name that you love, like Frankie Lindor, and
you Francisco.
bring it.
Oh yeah,
Francisco
okay.
Lindor.
So we had Nick Wickren on, who's been on the team with Frankie Lindor, called him Frankie the entire interview, and then the next day he's like, "Oh, I don't like being Frankie Lindor," and I was like, "Nick, you literally called him that the whole time you were there."
Oh God, that's awkward.
He didn't tell anyone anything.
Yeah, that was just one of those things where it made me it made me feel better about the trade. Where I was like, let this guy go. Whatever. He's a lunatic. New York can have fun with him.
Right. So does like a 171 average.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and getting booed every night essentially in New York.
I actually feel bad for him. Like I know he could have stayed here, but that's so much more money. Like, whenever you're gonna have a superstar, they're gonna leave here. It's just inevitable. So it's such a small window for Cleveland fans to have to cheer on like a really good team like 2016. But I feel bad for Lindor. Like, yes, you're going to take that. I don't think he's equipped for New York media and New York fans. Like they're bashing the crap out of him.
And it's just so hard coming from Cleveland, where the media is like, we are pretty like crazy fans here, but Indians have kind of been thrown aside, even with how great they've been, where no one kind of talks about him too much. And you don't.
Lindor wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't good last year. Like he was an average baseball player. No one gave him any crap. Because we wanted to keep him so bad, but
for sure. Like anytime he did something good, instantly every time, pay him all over.
Yep.
But it would be so far in between. It would just be annoying because it was just the inevitable waiting to happen, and it just like I'm just happy we didn't overpay him. Like it is what it is now.
Yeah. The thing I'm really excited for with the Indians, like when you look at this roster, like the offense is what it is. I mean, Franmil and Jose are doing really well. Like Emmanuel Clase and Karinchak, like as an 8-9, I think could be one of the absolute best in all of Major League Baseball.
And at this point, you're not wrong to say it. They have been.
Yeah.
That bullpen's got like those big three right now have like a 0.3 ERA or something.
Oh, it's insane.
So,
and I was worried about Clase because he was on like those giant horse steroids. Like if it was just like regular steroids, I'm like, all right, he could come back. But I was like, this guy's gonna throw like 70 miles an hour. It had nothing to do with it. He's crushing it. 101, 102 consistently.
Yeah, he's electric.
He is, man.
Yeah. So there's one last team in Cleveland.
Oh
You
boy.
already voiced your displeasure for them. I'm really just gonna ask like one thing, two things. What's your kind of not even Kevin Love's his outburst, just Kevin Love in general on this Cavs team throughout his entire tenure here?
Yeah, so anyone who anyone who wins us a championship, I will never bash ever. They could do whatever they want. I don't care. But this is kind of sad to watch. Like when he impounded that pass, I was like, this is kind of pathetic. Like just cut the dude. Let him go. You're not going to be good anyway. But we were just talking about on the show. I was like, what if he's just being like a really good company man and he's just trying to get us a better draft pick? Like maybe that's the case. Maybe he's doing like the Hugh Jackson, Sashi Brown type thing where he's just trying to help the team.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson was trying to help the team those 2.5 years he was in Cleveland.
Definitely on purpose for sure.
Yeah. All right. The worst part is if you interviewed Hugh Jackson, he does say that basically.
He does say that. He was helping us. He could have won. He could have won 16 games easy.
He's a moron.
Yeah, but, man. I know you're a Cavs fan. And it's tough. I am too, but it's tough to watch. Like I love Garland. I love Sexton. I love Jared Allen. I think they have good pieces here to build. Like they're not that far away. They could be like Okoro. I think could become a good player. I like JB. I know Okoro sucks right now, but you can't give up on a kid that early.
You're right, because I've done this the past 2 years with Sexton and Garland, where I'm like, these guys suck.
Yes.
And they've taken huge steps, especially Garland. Garland, I really have to give a lot of credit for, where he's getting
good.
close to being a very good starting point guard in the NBA.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's like sustainable to have them both as your point guard, shooting guard. Not much height there, but you can't give up on Okoro quite yet. If he sucks next year, maybe then all right, you can Anthony Bennett him. But outside of that, like if we could find like an offensive minded small forward on this roster, I think they could be a playoff team. And I don't want to see JB get fired. I like him as a coach, even though it seems like they've given up on him. But I don't know. I think they have a lot of good pieces here where you can be kind of optimistic for how much of a dumpster fire they are.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, like I don't think this a good Cavs team is that far away. It just needs that one guy. I've been on the Cade Cunningham train for this whole time, and I just hope the lottery gods just give us that one for like first overall pick, just one time. We got it 3 times before, just one more time.
I feel like we're due, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, and they've been kind of screwing us over the past couple of years too. So
do you guys remember like the Minnesota Timberwolves GM, like after every draft they would get screwed like every year for like a decade, and he's always like, it's rigged. I know it's rigged. David Stern, he sucks. He's rigging this thing, and I'm like, we've had enough luck in the past, but I think we're due. I do too.
Definitely.
So, Matt, you got anything else?
I just wanted to ask, like during the draft, like I don't know if you were like watching, like what was your favorite moment, like Browns wise? Was it the Josh Gordon sign, the Macho fan dancing during the draft pick, or was Myles Garrett's like shirt barely holding on while he was just jacked like crazy?
Dude, I think I'm gonna go Macho fan. Like that was incredible, and Roger Goodell took way too long to get on the stage. The dude just kept dancing. So much charisma. He's got to be our new spokesman.
So you're choosing him over Pumpkin?
Yes, Pumpkin him Man? Over a pumpkin. Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Dave, you got anything else you want to say?
No, man. So what? How long have you guys been doing the video podcast? Because I've watched a few of them in the past. I remember when you kind of were thinking about starting it up, but how long have you guys been doing this?
This is our, I think, 6th show, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So we're doing once a week. We're actually being consistent. And here we go. Now we're moving forward.
That's right, man. Yeah, that's the biggest name of the game is consistent, and you guys will do a good job. This is fun.
All right. Well, Dave, thank you again so much for coming on. It really means a lot to us. And if you guys don't know him, you're probably coming from his channel to see this. So you can watch him, Big Play Reflog Show, 9 p.m. on Monday. Again, thanks for stopping by, Dave.
Absolutely, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
See you, man.